Today we're touring the charming Westport, Connecticut home of interior designer Steph Schlegelmilch. After finding this English Tudor-style home, Steph instantly fell in love with its character, with a beautiful stone fireplace and a sense of old-world charm. Through thoughtful renovations and carefully chosen natural materials, Steph transformed the house into a warm, livable home designed to grow with her family. Limestone floors, plaster finishes, antique details, and collected pieces bring depth and history to each space. To watch Steph's home tour ad-free, scan the QR code on screen or visit homeworthyplus.com for access to all of our latest episodes ad-free and to receive other exclusive membership perks.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Steph Schlegelmilch. Welcome to my home here in Westport, Connecticut. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. I'm Allison Kenworthy, the founder of Homeworthy, and we take you inside the world's most beautifully decorated homes and introduce you to the brilliant people who live there.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Liz Lang. Welcome to Grey Gardens.
Click the join button below to access all of our latest episodes ad-free and watch extended cuts of this and other homes, opening the doors to new rooms and exclusive content featuring our beloved hosts.
I can't wait to see. I'm so excited.
And if you're looking to shop items inspired by this and other Homeworthy tastemakers, be sure to use the product links below or scan the QR code on screen to find fabulous furniture, coffee table books, and accessories that can transform your house into a home.
Hi, I'm Steph Schlegelmilch. I'm the founder and creative director of Studio Saba. Welcome to my home. We found this home in 2020, in August of 2020, and we had been renting and really were looking for the most perfect family home. And we stumbled across this home when it had just gone on the market, and we called our realtor and we had to come here and see this space. And we walked in for the first time. I remember looking to the right when you walk in, and you see this incredible fireplace. And instantly I knew that we had found our dream home. I would describe our home style here today as a comfortable, timeless, and livable home. I'm the type of person who feels like you should have nice things but also be able to live in your home. So I try my best in every space to really bring in pieces and elements where they're potentially high-end, there's investment pieces, but you can also have your dog on the couch, the kids can curl up, and you're not afraid of actually living in this space. So we're here in our family room, and my favorite feature of the home, the one thing that really took our breath away when we first saw this home, was this floor-to-ceiling fireplace. It's original to the home. It has such a presence. It feels so natural, organic, and it really just feels like us. But I would say that when we purchased the home, there was a really bad boxed beam, faux beam, that sat on top of this fireplace. And so the one thing that we knew we had to do was find something incredible, something old, something vintage to replace our mantle. And we did. We worked with a company called Reworks, and they helped us find the most beautiful chestnut antique beam that we switched out on our fireplace. So it really just feels old, it tells a story, and it's really one of my favorite features of our room. So another feature I love about our family room is that it's adjacent to our kitchen, but it's not an open floor plan. We have steps that lead down into a really large space that can really allow for maximum seating. So when we configured the floor plan, I wanted to allow for a large enough sectional that could fit our whole family, have people be able to sit here and enjoy the fireplace, but also lounge in a deeper section to be able to watch TV, which is directly this way. So what I did was I worked with one of my favorite upholsterers in North Carolina. Their name is Verellen, and we found the most perfect sectional that's modular and would allow for lounge seating and standard seating. So this is truly our favorite piece to hang out on as a family and really just fits the home so well. So when styling my coffee table, I like to keep it kind of pretty simple. I layer a lot of books. I think books are just really beautiful to look at. They take up a good amount of space on a large size coffee table. And when you have guests over, it's sometimes fun to skim through and read through different books that maybe they don't have or wouldn't be interested in themselves. I also really love to include little bowls and dishes and sentimental pieces. One of my favorite pieces is this bowl here. My best friend's husband is a potter for fun, and he made this piece for me, and I love to look at it every night when I'm on the couch. I also think a really beautiful large floral arrangement always does the trick. In this setting, I have really beautiful dried hydrangeas that always look good to me. And you always have to have a candle. So I always have our own candle burning in my home, and I love the look of it. And of course, I love the way it makes my room smell. So when we purchased this home, it lacked a lot of charm. And I wanted to bring in this old world kind of feel into our living space. So I worked with my contractor to frame out this beautiful arched opening, trimless, frameless. It just feels like it's always been here. And we installed this beautiful custom cabinetry that holds all of our games and extra blankets and things like that inside. And really what it does is it allows me to portray and showcase all of my favorite pieces that I kind of switch out a lot because I just love to collect, but these are all my favorites. This is from a potter in Spain, so I love Canoa Lab. I've got a piece of art here from Paul Meyer, who's another one of my favorite artists, and then just pieces I've collected over time. So a lot of the drapery that I install in my home is all pretty much the same fabric. I love continuity. I love walking into a home, and even though the rooms might feel different, the drapery just feels all the same and it connects one room to another. So this fabric that I chose here from my home is from Mokum. It is 100% linen. So it feels relaxed, it feels casual, it just feels like it doesn't feel like your grandmother's curtains. So I have the most incredible workroom who makes all of these custom for us and just really does a beautiful job. And it's truly one of my little favorite touches. So we're here in our kitchen where we spend a lot of our time. And what we did when we moved in, we kept up most of the footprint exactly where it is. We just made little touches and changes that really make for a more functional kitchen. So one of the silly things that this kitchen had when we moved in were two left hinge fridge and freezers right next to each other. And it just was silly. It wasn't functional. It felt like a pain. So we wanted to swap that out. Nothing is ever easy, and when we made that change, we had to reconfigure the cabinetry since it's panel ready. So it was a much bigger project than we thought it would be, but it makes a world of difference. We also really wanted to install a custom feature hood. So I worked with my contractor to design this beautiful plaster hood, and it's really one of my favorite features in this space. We also really needed a new range. So these were just small changes we made, but having a LaCanche range in my kitchen is just kind of the little cherry on top. And small details that, again, are really meaningful to me are installing lighting that just feels like something. And these fixtures were actually the first items that we purchased for our home when we moved in. So it definitely had a really long lead time. It took a long time to get here, but they are so special to me. These are by Matthew Cox over in London, across the pond, and they truly feel like everything to me in this home. So we're here in our breakfast nook, and it's really pretty minimal. I didn't really want to do too much to the space, but one thing that I did change was we eliminated the pendant fixture that hung from our original table space. So I really didn't want my lighting to compete with my pendants that hang over my kitchen island. So we eliminated the fixture that once hung over the table space and also allowed for a lot more recess in our kitchen area to allow for much more light to come in at night. We kept this square tables in the area and really didn't want to have anything else in the space that competed with everything else, especially this beautiful Terry O'Neill piece that my husband and I love so much. So we're here now in my dining room, and when we purchased the home, this room was completely white. It was a blank slate, and we have such high ceilings in here that it felt overwhelming. What I wanted to do was really just ground the space and create this moody ambiance kind of feel in our dining room. I love entertaining, and I love really setting the tone and having dimly lit sconces and lighting all throughout my home and candles on the table. So I really wanted to lean into this darker color. I knew that the room was large and it could handle it. We did a specialty finish on our walls, which is also by Portola Pants. The color was Sasha, and it really creates such a beautiful feeling in this space. And then what I did was I balanced it with lighter finishes as well. So we repeated the same linen drapes in my dining room and then also went for a lighter linen tone for our dining chairs. These are by Varellin and they are so comfortable. I love the little pillow detail and just feeling like you can sit and stay for a while. So for our lighting in my dining room, I really wanted a special chandelier. So I worked with our team at Ochre Lighting in New York City and found the most beautiful fixture to hang over our dining room table. So when styling my bookshelves in my dining room, I really wanted to keep it simple but also keep it real. I incorporated a lot of beautiful pieces from different stores I love and from my travels. And one of my favorite touches is incorporating pieces from my family. So family heirlooms that my mom and my grandmother have had are really special to me, and I love to have them on display. However, it's a dining room, and it really should just display a lot of the things we use when entertaining. So I often have a lot of glassware, so it makes it really easy to just grab and use when we have guests over. We're here in one of our powder rooms, and it really is such a little jewel box. We painted the walls this specialty Roman clay finish from Portola Paints. The color, I believe, was Passage, and it really is so moody and so elegant at the same time. Once we knew that we wanted to really feel enveloped in this space, I wanted to have a really gorgeous statement stone sink. So we worked with my fabricator, Douchy Marble, to install this marble stone countertop with integrated sink, and it just feels so elevated and so special. Favorite touches would definitely be my Waterworks faucet that we introduced a new finish in the home. Instead of going for dark finishes everywhere, I really wanted it to also feel elegant. So we opted for a polished nickel. And probably my favorite little touch in this room is these tiny little pendants by Rose Uniacke that really just feel like, once again, a jewel box and a really special place to have guests come over, wash their hands, and we really love this space. So I think the trick to giving a home soul is really welcoming different finishes and materials into your home that feel storied and they feel lived in. So that might be light fixtures or hardware that has a beautiful patina to the finish. So nothing feels dull, nothing feels tired. It feels like there's some story behind the piece, that it's been there forever. And I would also say that's true for stone. So any kind of material we bring into our home, whether it's flooring or countertops or fireplaces, we're always trying to find and really design natural materials that just feel like they're literally coming from the earth. And I think that's really the difference in making a home feel like there's so much soul behind it. Family-friendly design tip to make a space beautiful but also functional, I would say, is work with neutral and natural fibers. It's really, there's so many great fabrics out there, but when you're sticking to your wools and your cottons and your mohairs, you can typically get anything out of anything. So whether you have a dog accident or spills, as long as you are paying attention to the fiber that you're putting in the fabric selections that you choose, you really have a lot of flexibility with living in your home. So welcome to our primary bedroom. When I designed the space, I wanted it to feel soothing, calming, and just feel like a retreat for my husband and I and our dog. And I decided to lime wash our walls by Portola Paints. The color is Figueroa, and it really just feels so beautiful and ethereal when you're in here. I also made a custom bed for us. So this was done by our workroom locally, and I just love the curvature and the detail. It feels elegant, but also classic at the same time. And I paired the nightstands and lamps on either side and absolutely love the sculpture and the interest that they give. The lamps are by one of my favorite makers, Danny Kaplan, and the nightstands are by Lawson Fenning. I love that the light fixture I chose adds a little feminine touch. It's really a beautiful piece, and we purchased it by Soho Home. So we got really lucky with a lot of the architectural details in this home, like this niche here in our bedroom. What I wanted to do was, instead of creating another seating arrangement here, I really wanted to put a lot of the pieces I love on display and give this room a little bit of that collected feel. So we found the most beautiful bench at one of our trade shows when we went down to market. We actually took it back with us in the back of our pickup truck and brought it back up here to Connecticut, and I love this piece. We also lightly design the space. So whenever we have tables, benches, things like that, I like to really incorporate books and interesting pieces. So this vase here is one of my favorites. It's by LES Collection. And then I also have a couple really pretty pieces that were purchased by Bungalow here in town, as well as this little piece I actually made when I decided to be a potter for one day, and it was really fun. So then over here, we had this beautiful wall where I really wanted to install something interesting when you walked in. And one of the best features about my job, and one of my favorite things that I like to do, is not only fall in love with artwork, but get to really meet the makers themselves and hear the stories about the pieces. So this was purchased on one of our market trips down to North Carolina as well. And the art is by Dawn Schweitzer, and the piece is called Peace, and I love it. So we're here now in my guest bedroom, and I really am a firm believer in having a beautiful, well-appointed, and comfortable guest room. This space just feels like a retreat, and really our friends and family, when they come to stay, they never want to leave, and I'm okay with that. So we created this feeling of just warmth and brought in elements that I really love to make a space feel comfortable and cozy, like this blanket I purchased through a local shop here, Bungalow, and I really think it tells such a great story. I also brought in really beautiful lighting that feels sculptural and different, and I always love to have candles and flowers whenever my guests come so that they feel welcome and never want to leave. The art above the bed is also by an artist that the shop Bungalow carries, and I really just love it. I love a small piece of art so that it doesn't overwhelm the space, but just adds a little touch of something. I always wanted to be an interior designer. Since I was a young child, I would draw floor plans on napkins and create these extravagant homes on paper that, you know, were just so silly and had no scale or any purpose. But I just always could envision my life in, you know, the home world, the home industry. And so I went to school at FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in the city. And I didn't actually study interior design. I studied fabric styling, where I luckily was able to be exposed to a lot of interior design courses that I could tailor my major to the interior design world. And from there, I worked for a designer after college and really, you know, learned everything I could from her to eventually start my own design firm in 2017. So designing for yourself, I think, is very difficult. As a designer, you are exposed to so many incredible pieces daily. I am flipping through Instagram and magazines and going to markets and trade shows and seeing incredible new launches all the time. And it's really hard to narrow in on what feels right for you in your home. And there's definitely early on a struggle for me to find the right piece sometimes. And sometimes it felt forced. I felt like I was just trying to select a light fixture for my dining room. And I found that when I just kind of gave myself a little bit of time and didn't try to source that piece, but let that naturally kind of evolve, I felt more and more like it was this very organic design. So I think it's just being exposed to a lot of really good stuff out there, which makes it extra hard, but it was still fun. So welcome to the entryway in my home. It is small, but it's mighty. One of my favorite places to be. Honestly, when I come in every day, it makes me so happy. We did a light renovation in this space, or maybe we kind of tackled everything when you really think about it. We swapped out our light fixture to have the most beautiful urban electric fixture and really wanted to bring in all the light we could. So we opened up our doors and installed a beautiful glass door. So off our main entrance, we have this beautiful, charming little vestibule. The archways really set the tone for me and are one of the features of why we love this house so much. But we wanted to create a little moment here when you walk in so that it just feels comfortable and it feels welcoming. And I really just love everything in this space. So this piece right here on the wall is an artwork by one of my favorite artists. His name is John Rollins, and he is down in North Carolina. It's one of my favorite features. I love that when I come down for breakfast in the morning, it's the first thing I see. And then I love to collect. So a lot of the pieces around my home are pieces of pottery from really all over the world, some from my travels, but also just things I really, really love. So I really love a pretty powder room. This is our second powder room on our first floor, and we got really lucky when we moved in because the vanity and the flooring was pre-existing, but it was still a white box. So what we did was we created that ambiance again and went for a really dark wall color. This is also a Roman clay finish on the wall by Portola Paints. And again, I just love coming in here. It's one of my favorite little retreats to come in here, wash my hands, and really display beautiful pieces. So beautiful soaps, little flower arrangement, that's really all you need, but it just feels like a treat in here. So we're now here in my mudroom, and this was a complete gut renovation. we worked with our contractor to install all new cabinetry on this wall. Main reason was because the cabinetry that was here previously was all exposed, and I love to conceal whatever I don't want to see. So we installed this beautiful cabinetry, and one of my favorite details is always investing in good hardware. I think it's just obviously beautiful to look at, and it really lasts. So this is some of my favorite hardware from Sun Valley Bronze. We also wanted to continue this theme of old world in my home. And so we installed this vertical paneling on our walls and installed the same flooring that we did in our foyer, which is this beautiful tumbled limestone, and I really can't get enough of it. It's one of my favorite details in our home. So we are here now in my husband's office. It is one of the smaller spaces that we've designed when we design offices, but it is really functional and really works well now for our family. I worked with my contractor to install this custom cabinetry on the back wall. It now allows for functionality and storage for all of his files and printers and things like that. And it also allows us to display beautiful art. And I love this piece by Drew Doggett. I think it's impactful and it's really quite striking. And I love that you can see this when you walk into my home from the front door. So one of the things we also did in here was install this tweed wallpaper by Philip Jeffries, and we painted all the trim dark. I really wanted to give my husband this like masculine and moody vibe, and I think the color, especially paired with this custom finish, really does the trick. Home to me means a place that you can come and retreat to and feel like you can put your day aside and relax and unwind and put your feet up on the couch, have a glass of wine, snuggle with your dog, with your kids, and just feel peaceful. And I think for me in particular as a designer, I am always trying to make a home feel like something rather than look like something. So I think for home to just feel like who you are, I think that's kind of the best things about designing.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.